Monk Bonasort, Senior Associate Athletic Director here at Florida State. I handle most of the scheduling. I work with the head coach and with the athletic director as we schedule. There's a lot of little misconceptions about scheduling and how we need to schedule games, but I'm going to just go through a couple of things with you here. So you understand, in the even years, we play Florida at home. So if you look at the 4 ACC conference games on the road, that leaves us with an opportunity for 8 home games. So in the even years, well, let's go to 2016, and you look at our schedule. Because of strength of schedule, I know everybody's concerned about that. And these are our regular ACC opponents. Every year we're going to play Boston College, Clemson, and Wake together. In 2016, North Carolina, which is pretty good opponents, coming here. We're going to have Florida here. We're talking about a possible neutral site game somewhere. There has been discussions with Atlanta and a couple other teams. So you look at one game left on your schedule. Who do you want to schedule there? Who do you schedule there? Do you bring another powerhouse in? But if you bring a powerhouse in here, where do you go to them on the road? Let's go with the away games in 2016. You got Louisville, North Carolina State, Syracuse. You got Miami. And then we did the home and home with South Florida. So right there, what the opponents you have a real good non-conference schedule in 2016. And the reason why I'm going so far ahead, most of our schedule is already made up through 14 and 15. So when most people are talking about trying to do home and homes, you really can only do one home and home in every cycle. So if you bring someone here on 16, you go in 17, or you go in 19, you don't want to go on the road on even years. Because that'll take away some of your opportunity for home games. Let's look at 2017. We have 5 away games, a possibility of 7 home games. Our away games are 4 ACC, 1 Florida. So what you're looking at, if you try to get a team in here, say you do a home and home and you go on the road, that leaves you with 6 home games. Financially, you cannot put yourself in a position with 6 home games. So you got to try to do, again, if you do a home and home, here you want to play it at home, but then where are you going to take the other game from? Where are you going to be able to travel at? Because in 2018, remember, we have Notre Dame coming here in 2014. At some point, we got to go back to Notre Dame. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to fit it in this schedule right here, because the only game we have is a home game, and if we give that home game up and give it away, then we only have 6 home games, and if we do a neutral site, that leaves us with 5 home games. So if you try to schedule Notre Dame here in 18, that'll leave you with 7 home games. That puts you at 5 away. And then if you do a possible neutral site game, again, our goal is to try to look at neutral sites on even years. So in 16, possible neutral site. 18, possible neutral site. Financially, you cannot put ourselves in a position with the increases in expenses, and as you're trying to catch up with most of these other conferences, to play 6 home games. You got to try to have 7. The only way you can possibly get away with 6 home games is if you have 6 home games and a neutral site game that you can go travel to. And this way, it's considered a home game because you're getting pretty good revenue, anywhere from $3 million to $3.5 million, or maybe more, depending on as you go further on in this year. So scheduling, people talk about a lot of home and home games. You got to remember, we do play Florida. And I know people say, well, they're concerned about ACC. We do play Florida. Whenever you get another home and home, you're going to have 2 pretty good home and home opponents. Somewhere you got to squeak in there someone that, maybe before the Florida game, someone where, it's the caliber of opponent is not the same caliber that you're playing right there. Remember, we're at Louisville there. You got North Carolina right there. Looking at the recruiting factor also, number one, you're going to go out and tell your kids, and your kids are going to see Florida State exposed, in what they used to call preseason game. They're not preseason games anymore. Playing in a Dallas Stadium, playing in Atlanta, playing maybe in Orlando, playing maybe in Jacksonville, playing in Houston. So there are some great opportunities. Plus, it helps you with your alumni base and your booster base to be able to travel. And it's a great experience for our kids. I mean, your kids are going to go there, play on Jerry Jones Stadium, come through that, see that big jumbotron, 100,000 seat stadium. It's a great experience. And what's interesting is, I think the coaching staff will look at this, and they're going to see their kids. The preseason practice is going to be a little more intense because now they have an opportunity to play a lot better team, and you're going to see the work ethic. You're going to see the kids work harder to prepare for that. So recruiting, alumni, just the prestige, just for your whole image of the university. And Florida State has a great image, but just to be out there and be exposed on national television in a big game like that, it just does wonders for the school. But this is not a one-day phone call. You call someone up, and they say, okay, we'll schedule the game. This takes months and months to try to figure out your schedule and try to work on it, because there is a strategic, formula in this thing, especially when you have a schedule like this where you have, 5 away games, possible neutral site, Florida and North Carolina. You got Clemson. What do you do right here? I mean, what do you do? And I know everybody's talking about trying to eliminate the FCS schools, the Division II schools, and maybe we get to that point right now.